I'm Chris Savula, editorial page editor.
I'm Cecilia Rexis, editorial writer.
Rufus Friday, publisher.
Jack Briggs, retired publisher.
Matt Taylor, editorial writer.
Ken Robertson, executive editor.
All right, so I'll reset the timer.
Okay.
And give you your full 3 minutes, Mr. Chushcoff.
Thank you. For an opening statement, I'd just like to, again, thank you all for having me here. I want to tell everybody a little bit about myself. First of all, my name, Justice Sanders has just arrived. I'm a Superior Court judge in Pierce County, Washington now. I was elected in 1996. I began serving in 1997. So this is my 14th year as a Superior Court judge. In that time, I've been named by my colleagues to the court's executive committee. It's a governing body. That was in 2002. The next year, they made me the assistant presiding judge for Pierce County. A few years ago, they elected me to become the presiding judge of Pierce County, and just this year, in January, they re-elected me to another 2-year term, which would take me to the end of 2012. Pierce County is the second largest trial court in the state of Washington. It has approximately a $14 million budget and nearly 100 employees. I oversee that. In addition to that, I continue to maintain a full load of cases, trying cases every day, just as any other Superior Court judge does. Prior to that, I was in private practice for 19 years in my own law office. I represented a wide variety of clients, working families, in family law matters, criminal law matters, financial matters, and so on. I had a wide practice background, and I have a wide practice experience as a Superior Court judge. I've chosen to run for this position because, even though I'm very happy as a Superior Court judge in Pierce County, I've decided that my concern is that the judiciary is increasingly losing public confidence. There's a concern by both the folks on the right and the left that judges with a political philosophy are using that political philosophy to advance an agenda. My concern is Justice Sanders has been doing that in several decisions through the years. As sure as time goes by in this our forum today, I'll have an opportunity to discuss those in more detail. But that's the reason why I'm leaving my very happy existence and decided to attempt this as a candidate for the Washington Supreme Court. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me reset our timer here.
Well, hello again. I'm Charlie Wiggins. I'm in private practice on Bainbridge Island, where I've been in private practice for the last 15 years. I started a small law firm there after I was on the Court of Appeals as a Court of Appeals judge. I've also served as a pro tem Superior Court judge in King County and in Jefferson County, so in our largest county as well as a one-judge county. Over the years, I've focused my practice on appellate law, and I have handled appeals for my entire career in just about every area of the law you can imagine. Primarily civil appeals, well, exclusively civil appeals for the last 15 years, but in the early days, both civil and criminal appeals in all of our courts of appeals in the state. The Supreme Court and in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals had 1 or 2 cases go to the U.S. Supreme Court as well, although I've not argued personally in that court. I decided to run for this office because I wanted to bring a sense of integrity and impartiality and independence to the court. I think those are the 3 characteristics that we should look for in a judge, and I believe there are issues with the incumbent with respect to each of those issues. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in the Army. My dad was an Army warrant officer. We moved about. I served 4 years myself in the Army after going through college on an Army ROTC scholarship. I graduated from law school in 1976 and have been in practice in Washington ever since. I've been very active in the community. I've been on the editorial board, a citizen member of the editorial board of the Kitsap Sun. I've been very active in Habitat and with our church group, the youth of our church, leading them to Tijuana to build houses on 5 separate occasions, and to New Orleans to work with Habitat on 2 separate occasions. I have been evaluated by bar associations and rated exceptionally well qualified by the King County Bar, the Tacoma Pierce County Bar, the Latino Bar, and the Lauren Miller Bar Association, which is the African American Bar Association. I've also been endorsed in this race by over 70 judges, which is really quite rare when you run against an incumbent judge, by 30 of our 39 county prosecutors, by the Washington State Labor Council, the Washington Conservation Voters, the police and sheriff's organization, the line duty police officers, WACOPS is the name of that group, by the state troopers, by the state Democratic Party, and by other organizations as well. Be honored to serve as a Supreme Court Justice, and I look forward to our discussion today.
Thanks very much. And you missed our introduction, but we do have 3 minutes for opening statements, and it's your turn, Justice Sanders. So I'll go ahead and get this timer set, and if you're ready, we'll go.
Well, I'm Richard Sanders. I've been on the state Supreme Court for 15 years, sat on 2,000 cases, written over 570 opinions. In my spare time, I was an adjunct professor at the UW Law School, teaching appellate advocacy, writing law review articles, op-ed pieces, some of which have been printed in this paper. I've been endorsed by the Washington State Republican Party, the Farm Bureau, the Association of Washington Business, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, the Council of Retired Public Employees, the state realtors, Attorney General Rob McKenna, leading Democrats like my former colleague Phil Talmadge, former Mayor of Seattle Wes Ullman, and many others. Our state constitution provides in Article 1, Section 1 that it's the purpose of government to protect and maintain individual rights. And I saw that as my job description on the state Supreme Court right across the board, whether you're a worker, whether you're a businessman. We have personal individual rights in our private property, the right to keep and bear arms. The accused, those accused of a crime have many rights that must be protected, although it's never popular to do so. A UW Law School professor by the name of Hugh Spitzer characterized my career like this. He said, Washington Supreme Court Justice Richard Sanders is perhaps the deepest thinker on his court. He dives to the bottom of constitutional issues, asking where do the basic concepts come from? What's the underlying political and legal theory? What did the nation's founders think about this topic in 1789? What did Washington's founders have in mind in 1889? The opinions that I've written, or some of them, have been discussed on the national level. I have a packet of materials I'll give to you after the editorial board meeting. You can see some of those discussions. Also, I, after a 3-year struggle with my colleagues, finally got a rule adopted which would set minimum qualifications for those appointed to represent indigent criminal defendants. I know there was a $3 million verdict of malpractice that came out of this county because of a problem that you had with the public defender. I hope that's been cured, but I think it requires a statewide rule to make sure that we're not getting apples for oranges, and that is to say that there must be a maximum case law standards for those appointed to represent indigents. They must have adequate resources to compete on a level playing field. They have to be able to afford to have an investigator, a social worker, do what's necessary to be not only a lawyer, but a lawyer who's effective in the representation of his clients, which is a constitutional right we all enjoy under the Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution. I don't think constitutional rights are negotiable. I don't think that they should be abrogated in the name of balancing budgets.
Thank you very much.